Hi everyone, I'm Don Smith, and today we're here to talk to you about a very important service for some select communities in Union County. This is Mobile Meals of Westfield, and joining us here in studio is the president of the board of Mobile Meals of Westfield, Ruth Maloney. Ruth, thanks a lot for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
So let's talk to everybody about Mobile Meals of Westfield. Let's get a little history first. So I know you're in your 55th year. Take us back to when this all started.
When it first started, it actually was created to fill a need that was not being met by Meals on Wheels. Meals on Wheels is a national program. It's federally funded, and people have to qualify for it. We don't have that. There were people who needed our service, needed food delivered, but didn't qualify. And so the people at the Baptist Church on Elm Street in Westfield decided that they could fill that need. They have a kitchen in their basement, and so they decided to just put it together, and it's grown quite a bit since the beginning, as you can imagine. But we're holding steady now with our number of clients and whatnot.
So let's just make the distinction there about it's not related in any way, shape, or form to the Meals on Wheels program that probably a lot of our folks here are familiar with. So you're not affiliated with them. That's
correct.
Okay.
We are a very, very small, private, local organization. Our funding comes from 60% of our funding comes from our clients. They do pay a small fee, and the rest are from grants and donations.
Okay, so take us through the process if somebody wanted to sign up to have these meals delivered. First, let's kind of go back to the church, because it's an interesting place, the Baptist Church there on Elm Street. You have a kitchen there. Talk to me about the chef and the whole proceedings and logistically how that all works at the church first.
Sure. We have only 2 employees. We have Josephine, who is our operations manager. She is the one who takes all the intakes for the clients, and she supervises the kitchen. And then we have our chef, Terry, who has been with us about 2 years now. And he's really great because it's not a new kitchen. It was built a long time ago.
Yeah, okay.
And so, there have been some improvements, but not a lot. And so he has to make do with what we have.
Sure.
And he also has to stay within our budget. Josephine and Terry make the menu every Friday for the following week. We have a shopper who goes on Monday mornings and shops for all the different kinds of fresh things that we need, whether it's fruit, vegetables, whatever, sometimes cheeses.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it, of course, is from, packaged goods and whatnot. But so they create the menu, and we don't really tell the people ahead of time what the menu is, because sometimes they're going to use something that maybe, they had left over from last week or whatever.
I see.
So they never know too much about.
So talk to me, Ruth, about what are some of the typical meals that someone can order?
We have a main meal that comes in a microwavable tray. It has a protein, 2 sides. Usually one would be a vegetable. The other one could either be a vegetable, potato, something else. We do things like turkey and stuffing near Thanksgiving and things like that. Chicken, we do a lot of baked chicken and things like that. But that comes with a bag that has a drink and a piece of bread and some other fruits and whatever. That's the main meal. If they want, they can also order a secondary meal. And the secondary meal consists of a snack and another vegetable, another fruit, another drink, and a sandwich.
Okay.
Usually.
Okay. So now we have the main meal, you have the secondary meal if needed, if they'd like to have that. Let's even take another half a step back. So how would somebody order their meal? So take me through that process if somebody's interested, and we'll get into all the particulars as far as how to get their contact information and all that, but just take me through logistically the process. If I wanted to order the meals, how do I start doing that?
There are 2 ways that you can do that. You can call our office directly, or we have a website that we had a young person help us with about 4 years ago now, so it's much more dynamic than it used to be. But you can order online, you can volunteer online, Pretty much everything now you can do online. You can
Okay.
donate online, but either one of those ways, either the phone or filling out the form.
I see. Okay. So let's kind of go through, now we know how to order, right? You're going to do that online. We know about what the meals are. You get your protein, you get your 2 sides, and you have your snack or your other secondary meal if you'd like one. So are there any customizations to that? Let's just say somebody has an issue with salt, or if they have an allergy of some type, are they able to make requests like that?
All of our meals are low salt because the majority of our clients are, in fact, seniors.
So Ruth, we know we have the meals there. We have the main meal, then your secondary meal, your snack. Now, are clients able to customize that in any way, shape, or form? Either they have an allergy or they want low sodium.
Yes, all of our meals are low sodium because the majority of our clients are seniors. We also do low sugar. Our desserts are things like pudding, jello, and fruit. And in terms of customizing, we will be able to, if someone is allergic to something or it bothers their digestive system, things like that, we can address that.
Tailor to their needs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What we don't do, unfortunately, is we cannot do kosher and we cannot take requests.
I see. Okay.
It's the same meal for everybody every
Same
day,
meal every day.
unless there's one of those issues.
Unless there's one of those issues.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we know how to order the meals. We know what kind of meals you're going to have, and then you'll look for I guess on the website, that's where the menu is posted once it goes out, or
We
is it
actually
just,
don't put the menu up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the menu, like I said, it's
Yeah.
made very last minute on Fridays
Uh-huh.
for the following week because their time is very limited. From 8:30 to 10:30.
So it's only a 2 hour
2 hours
Yeah,
window
it's
of
not-
time
yeah.
to make 50 meals.
Right. It's a lot of meals.
So, yeah, their time is limited during the week. So they meet at the end of the day on Friday,
Okay.
create the menu for the following week. And so, yeah, it's kind of a surprise.
Okay, so it's a little bit of a surprise. The surprises are good, right? So you deliver Monday through Friday. So now take me through that process, the actual delivery process. What do they have to be home? Can it be left on the doorstep type thing? I mean, how does all that work?
This is the part I know the most about.
Okay.
Because I've been driving for about 25 years.
Oh, very good.
So I got started many, many years ago when my children were little, and I ended up taking them with me. And so now actually 2 of them are very involved with Mobile Meals. To me, it was a good way to encourage them to do some community service and understand how we all help each other. So once the meals are ready, they're put in a cooler. And then the coolers are all lined up. We have 5 routes. We have 3 Westfield routes, and then we have a Cranford route, Scotch Plains. And the drivers come at about 10:45. They pick up their coolers, put them in the car, and then they drive their route. And they have a sheet that tells them exactly, how the directions.
Sure. Yeah.
Exactly where to go. So anyone who's new can just follow those directions.
I see.
I have Westfield 3. That's my route.
Okay.
I know it by heart, of course.
Yeah.
So, and of course, the clients changed over the years. But, generally speaking, my route is the south side of Westfield into Clark.
Okay.
So they drive for about, I would say about an hour, maybe a little more, depending upon how many clients there are on that day. And then they bring the coolers back to the kitchen, and Josephine disinfects them, and our kitchen helper cleans the kitchen. And so they're usually done by 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Wow. Okay. That's a bit of a Herculean task, and in a short amount of time to do all this, the preparation of the food and then the delivery, and then you're doing this 5 days a week. I mean, it really is. It is some undertaking there. Let's go through the qualifications. Are there any? And again, I know looking at some of the show notes here that differences between the Meals on Wheels and the Mobile Meals of Westfield. So take us through that.
Okay. Meals on Wheels being federally funded, an individual would have to qualify for that, which is usually a home check of what type of living situation they're in, whether or not they have someone who can shop for them or cook for them or whatever it is. We don't have any of that. Anyone can get our meals temporarily, permanently. Sometimes we've had people who have broken an arm and can't cook for a couple months.
Sure.
And other times we've had maybe a parent and an adult child living together, but the adult child is gone during the day, so they just want that midday meal for the parent. We just have different, we can take all kinds of people.
Yeah.
Whereas Meals on Wheels, you have to have certain qualifying factors.
Right, I see.
We don't have any of that. We take everybody.
So now, with the kind of coming out of COVID and the pandemic, are you still seeing your clients still kind of staying with you? I imagine during COVID you're probably getting a lot of requests, I would imagine, correct?
It was very interesting during COVID because, unfortunately, being that we are housed in the Baptist church, when they shut down, we had to shut down. So that was for about 3 months. But before we did that, we prepared by calling all of our clients and making sure that they had a way to get food during that time. And since most of course, people who have full-time jobs were home with their parent or whoever, they could handle that.
Right.
But we did have some that we referred actually back to Meals on Wheels because Meals on Wheels was still delivering frozen to the door. That's another difference between us and Meals on Wheels is we're very personal with our clients. We take the food into the house. We talk to them. We chit-chat. We make sure they're doing well. If anything seems off, we make sure that we call the contact for that person. And you get to know your clients. And it's lovely because so many of them have great stories to tell, as you can imagine.
I can imagine. I can only imagine. If you could ever record some of them, I'm sure they probably have so many wonderful stories to tell. So, besides the meals, it's a bit of a wellness check for some of your clients as well. As you said, probably the majority are senior citizens, and having that smiling face, that friendly face coming in and saying, hello, how are you? Good to see you. Here's the meals. We'll see you tomorrow. That kind of thing goes a long way.
Yes.
Absolutely goes a long way.
It was difficult for our drivers, actually, post-COVID, because we were delivering to coolers.
Oh, I see.
And that was very difficult for us because we have a relationship with our clients. And we like seeing them. We like spending time with them. It was really hard to not see them. And they felt the same way. Josephine would get phone calls like, when are you coming back? When can we do regular, So
those relationships are built up over time, which is absolutely fantastic. So Ruth, just want to let everyone know that the towns that you are delivering to are Westfield, Cranford, Scotch Plains, Fanwood, Garwood, Clark, and Mountainside, kind of that southwestern section of Union County. Those 7 communities, that is where your service area is currently in effect. Okay. And the office hours, so the hours that someone could get in touch with you are
8:30 to 1 o'clock.
Okay.
Monday through Friday.
Okay.
That's when Josephine is in the office and she handles the phones and everything else.
Okay. So Ruth, how can folks get in touch with you? You have an email address, website, phone number?
Yes. Our phone number is 908-233-6146. And our email is Mobile Meals Westfield, all together, at hotmail.com. And our website is mobilemealsofwestfield.org.
mobilemealsofwestfield.org.
Yes.
So as we're wrapping up here, I just want to ask you about your volunteers, and it seems like it really takes an army to put this together. So let's talk to our friends here watching about some of the volunteers that you have.
We have a fantastic crew of over 100 volunteers. Some of them are packers. They help put the meals into the trays and bags. And then we have drivers who have been with us sometimes for, like me, 30 years. Our volunteers are very, very important to us, and hopefully they know that. We do volunteer appreciation, and we try to make sure that everybody is engaged because honestly, at this point, we almost have more volunteers than we need, and so there are some people who have had a regular route, like I do Westfield 3, for many years, and they want to stick with that route, but we're trying to engage newer volunteers into that process. So our coordinator of volunteers has gone through our entire volunteer database and cleaned it up and made sure that everyone that's on there, we know their preferences, we know how often they want to drive, we know exactly what they want to be put on, so that the driver coordinators can schedule them appropriately.
Right, wonderful. Yeah, so as anything of a project like this, there's so many volunteers that that really make the entire experience and really be able to help you out and kind of do this.
Yeah.
It's such a vital resource for so many here in Union County in the 7 towns. So let's just kind of run down the 7 towns again. They're delivering to Cranford, Garwood, Clark, Mountainside, Fanwood, Westfield, and Scotch Plains.
Yes.
So again, it's that southwestern corner of Union County. For maybe some of our friends who are new to Union County, may not be aware of kind of what the location is. Let's do a quick recap now. So you deliver 5 days a week, Monday
Yes.
through Friday. You can go to your phone number to call in for the meals, or for the website or the email to go ahead and do that. Meals are somewhat customizable to a degree. You make the low sodium.
Yes.
We also know that there are diabetic meals as well
Yes.
that will be included in that package. You get the main meal with the protein and the 2 sides, and if you want a snack or a secondary meal, that's something that you could also do. And the big thing, I just want you to reiterate this again, this is not affiliated with Meals on Wheels. This is a low-cost option for a lot of our friends here in Union County to be able to get a quality meal every day if needed.
Yes. Very often we get confused with Meals on Wheels. And for us, it's a little bit of a struggle because they're very different. We provide personal contact. We provide a meal that is extremely low cost. Only 60% of our budget is covered by the fees. The rest we have to go out and we do grants. The Westfield United Fund is one of our largest donors. And we also get donations from organizations like women's clubs, men's clubs, people like that. And then, of course, we get private donations. We do an annual appeal at the end of the year. So every year it's a little bit of a crapshoot as to how we're going to make this happen. Mm-hmm. Because, the fees are not going to completely cover what we do. But that's why we have so many volunteers and only a couple people who are on a payroll.
Mm-hmm. Great. All right, Ruth Maloney, president of the board of Mobile Meals of Westfield. I want to get that right on you. Ruth Maloney, president of the board of Mobile Meals of Westfield. Thanks a lot for joining us and telling us about this vital service here in Union County. I'm Don Smith, and thanks for watching.